Good afternoon, Flay. Welcome to July's SEO Progress Report. As we do every month, we put together a series set of data in terms of our three key metrics, our top 5 positions, the overall aggregate traffic, and our conversions. So kicking it off, for July, we finished with 199. So that's a all-time for the month of July, not an all-time for most of the years except for 2019. And I know we had a few keywords in there that were back then, they were similar in nature, so we did make a decision to clean that up and kind of just concentrate on a finer set of non-branded keywords. So I believe that 228 was right around May of 2019. That's when we started to clean this up. But nevertheless, 199 still really decent. We're on an onward trend, an upward trend from May. Well, actually stemming back from April. For April, May, June, and now July, consistent growth. Although the rate of change is slowing down from June to July. So as you can see that with the slope of the line. So, but again, very good, just under 200. I think that's a good mix of keywords. I go through them, they look pretty good in terms of, they're not overly repetitive or similar in different variations. We still like to measure that, but for our progress, we like to kind of filter out some of the white noise, if you will. Let's take a deeper dive into the keywords and what they are. We can look at our branded movement or non-branded movement in our next screen. All right, so I've loaded our keywords here in this screen. As you can see, the keywords to the left, followed by the corresponding search engine result type, the position it resides in, the competition ratings based on the ad saturation, the volume in search per month, and then the last column is the cost per click. And for SEO, we just use that as to see what some of the competitors are willing to pay for given a certain term. We then look at the two types of keywords, your branded and your non-branded. So branded obviously will be everything containing WinSystems and or a variation and or product. As we can see here at the very top, that has not changed in some time. There's some decent volume there that they're forecasting too as well. That's been pretty consistent. And the overall brand is worth $1.06 a click. So that's pretty cool. There's some equity there. But that has not moved for some time. So that's great. As we can see, we're also in 3 types, the knowledge panel, the site link extensions, and under the fold in traditional search as well. So that's great. Then we look at our non-branded. So those types of keywords will not have WinSystems associated with them. So this is going to be more product search and service oriented, if you will. And looking here, pretty solid in terms of all of these long tail keywords that we've been ranking for. I also would like to go through this month and kind of get rid of some of the stuff that really we really don't care about. So it's like, why focus on that, right? It's wasting space. But fog versus edge computing going up, shooting to the top there at increased 4 positions. Also picked up the one box. I never use that, but that's interesting how it detects that. But we're pretty diversified as well with related questions, the video, the traditional search, and the this just indicates that you can open up and see the actual search engine results there, the lightning bolt. So moving up 4 positions to number 1, so that's great. Positive movement to the top. Looking specifically pretty stable, as you can see. A little bit of movement with Epic SBC and 3.5-inch SBC or single board computer. Industrial arm moving to position 2, which is good. We had some slight downward movement there, as you can see, industrial ARM SBC, the PC 104 boards, and a slight notch downward with the industrial TSN switch. And then looking, there was a new term that's related to, you see down below, industrial computers. And when I searched that, I didn't find you in the results right away. So what this is indicating here is a related question. So what I had to do was type in, and then here we are here in the space, but I had to type in what are industrial computers as a question. And then this appeared about mid-level of the page. So it's reporting position 4, but I think that's not entirely correct. I think it's more like position 6, 7. So at the time that it was measured, it probably wasn't position 4. So there is some volatility in terms of the moving on to the space on the first page. So we'll keep a close eye on that query and the results of that query. But I think that's going to be very relevant, and that's awesome how, if somebody asks a question, it renders our results. So, and I also will be checking the speakable search to see if I can get that to render. Typically, they only present the top 3 results with speakable search, but it'd be interesting to see what the results are given that type of query. So looking very good in terms of our non-branded and branded keywords. We had some upward movement on some relevant themes. And again, we're going to keep an eye. We're really rooting for conversions here. So, questions are great. But I got to say, like when you ask what are industrial computers, that's really along the lines of the informational. I believe we also rank for looking for as well. So I'm tracking both of those questions. And I have a hunch that looking for or purchasing, anything with that added action word, if you will have a higher propensity to convert to a customer because that intent is clearly there. So, but nevertheless, we're going to watch those two, and I think it's great that we have more queries occupying the first page of the Google search results. Next key metric is total traffic. Total traffic is measured in sessions, and a session is a measure of a visitor going to more than one page within the website. Looking at July's performance, we finished the month with 6758. That is a slight decrease from June's highs for 7481. But again, outpacing all prior years, 2020, 2019, and 2018, which is awesome. Love it. Let me take a little closer look at the session traffic and look at some of the contributing sources, and then we can dive into our conversion data thereafter. Put our SEO progress report here in this screen. For this, we'll be comparing year over year in this specific report. As we can see, the organic traffic just above 14% increase. That's a big share of that total traffic of 6758. Overall up just about 20% looking from last July. So that is awesome to see. And a good healthy amount of new users. If you look down at the top traffic sources breakout, you see 29% are actually brand new. And that's a direct resultant of some of those new themes that are ranking on page 1. So, but again, we love the traffic, we love the sessions, the new sessions, but we really want to aim for more relevance in conversion. So the other traffic is referral. Other is typically Facebook. It gets labeled like that within the analytics. So looking at last year, and that's a strange, I guess last July we weren't doing anything, so it's 81,000% increase. So that kind of skews the averages there, right? But again, referral traffic is coming back. Some news on that. Core Vitals update is really impacting referral and some of these direct traffic sources. So we're hearing that across all industries. So it's good to see that we're actually up 37% from last year, but I would anticipate additional decreases in those actual traffic sources. So we're looking at some of the opportunities that exist on that side of the field in terms of SEO. So we can align you with some referral sites that actually, comply with core vitals and have their situation handled, just like WinSystems does with their core vital scores. So, look, keeping an eye on that for the next couple months. But again, great to see that our overall traffic was up 14%, specifically organic source from this time last year. Looking at the top referrals, this has not really changed. I really use this as to identify any spam or some sort of spam traffic that appears that has a tremendous amount of sessions and a high bounce rate, and then I'll add that to our actual filters. So they call that ghost referral traffic. So I keep an eye on that for within our top referring sites. And then our landing pages, as you see, this has been pretty consistent. The computer on module finally catching up to the very top there, so that's good to see. And then some of our blog traffic actually producing some relevant sessions here. And then our last metric is our conversions in leads. This is measuring form fills and or mobile contact touches with the phone number. So we are able to track that, and I was able to confirm that. 45 completions versus 58. So that represents a 17% decrease in conversions. And as we've discussed today, some of the strategies behind honing in on the keywords that really convert and convert well, based on the session traffic that's coming in. So again, we're really going to push hard to look at those keyword terms that traditionally have a higher propensity to convert, whether looking at the competitors or looking historically at WinSystems data. So looking really forward to that, because I really want that conversion rate well over 1%. As you see, last July, even though we had less traffic, it converted better at 1%. So I really want to kick that conversion rate the other direction. So we're sitting at about 1.5, almost 2%. I think we can get there. And with that said, that concludes our reporting for this month. Flay, I'd like to say thank you for your participation, and I really appreciate you as a client. And I look forward to working with you guys, helping you guys become more successful and closing out 2021. Thanks, Flay, and I hope you have a great rest of your week.